right, reach out and touch faith. Happy Sunday, everybody. How are you all feeling? Hope everybody's alive and well, doing fine. Listen, boy, we got girls and boys. We got one hell of a show today, man. We got like three guesses coming along. I got some news from the magazine from Mag NFT, also from issue 24. So yeah, what a show! So what a show! Hope everybody's feeling well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your weekend, spent some time with loved ones, and if you could not because of the COVID situation around the world, hope at least you could give them a call and remind them that you're with them at heart and they're in thought. That's right. How is welcome, Mr. Beeblebrox. And of course, thank you, Ken Wolf, for supporting us in the background there. Give us a big cheer of applaud, everybody, for Ken Wolf. Always on the fucking job, working 24 hours a day. He's a bot actually. Like I don't even know why I'm thanking him there, but hey, we gotta thank those bots once in a blue moon. So yeah, everybody, hey, listen to this. So you guys, one thing that Mag NFT always follows is anything that had to do in regards to non-fungible. We used to be niched in the art world, but yet, I've always brought you guys all a lot of concept and project out there that, are in the non-fungible, contract community, So, anyways, Rizzo came along this week and said, "Hey, bro," he says, I just don't have time and I got a killer project." And he says, "Can you host it on the Sunday's Confession?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. We know who you're talking about." And he goes, "Alan from Block Priorities." Now, Alan meant nothing to me, but when the minute he said Block Priorities, I immediately knew that he was talking about fractional NFTs because I had seen it in the past and we all heard about it, right? So here's the concept of what is a fractional art before I bring along Alan, guys, so you guys can follow the conversation. So the concept is really easy, We've seen people do this where they will put for sale an NFT. So let's say I own an NFT of Beeple or any NFT that I want. I can put it on the market for sale, but fractionalize it, meaning that I would put it for sale in, let's say, six pieces. So six people could own a part of my NFT. So that's what we call fractional ownership, right? So let me just make sure Alan is there. You go. I'll make sure he is unmuted. So Alan, all you got to do is just unmute your mic. There you go. Welcome, bro, and welcome to Sunday's Confession.
Hey, thank you for having me here.
Fantastic. So we already gave a little scoop of what we're going into, but Alan, before we go into it, how did yourself and who else is involved in this project, and how did it came to about before the first line of coding was drawn that you wanted to get into fractional NFT contracts?
Yeah, so I guess it started with the way I even got into NFTs in the first place. I studied math in university, and so the whole idea of blockchain is pretty interesting to me. And then when this whole NFT craze started happening I'd say probably like in the beginning of January, one of my friends was telling me about NBA Top Shot, and I was like, "Whoa, this is really cool!" And I started looking into NFTs in general. And then there was like something where you needed to buy a bunch of different NFTs at once to get like a challenge to buy a bunch of different NFTs at once, and then be able to hold them. And then when you hold them for long enough, you get this final really expensive NFT. And and so in doing so, we were doing it, and I realized, like, which is how the idea started initially. Like, there's no way to pool money in a way that allows you to like securely pool money in a way that allows you to all purchase together. And then like that idea, and I was just thinking about that, like, how can we do that? And then I came back to the blockchain, and then that idea just started cascading and it moving towards like that and NFTs. And so the way we do our fractional buying is we actually allow it to happen on both sides. So one person doesn't need to own it in order to fractionalize it. What happens is a bunch of people can buy it together, and then they all own pieces of it. So they all own fractional pieces of it, and then they can now all sell it together, or they can all hold it together depending on what kind of party it is. And
Sorry,
then
hold on. Yeah, so stop before we lose Ladua. So okay, so this is pretty interesting. So let's go back to that concept. Now that here we go. So what are you gonna? Am I gonna be going into a marketplace where you guys are gonna be enabling other marketplace so we can interact within your platform? to purchase, like an example to make it basic for everybody to understand, you would have like an open sea where I could have 5 people bid on one specific NFT, and if my group of people reach whatever the listing of the price, then it would be sold, and then the contract would recognize that 5 people own that NFT now.
Exactly. So what we do is we have a Chrome extension that you download. And then right now, because we have to do it individually, we have to grow individually from exchange to exchange. Right now, we support OpenSea. So what you would do is, if you're surfing the web, and I could drop the link in if people want to kind of look through it as I say it.
As you drop them, Alan, like I told you in the DM, I'll actually copy paste and we'll add them in event links, and everybody that's a regular listener knows that then they can access event links, and they'll have all the links that we'll talk about in today's podcast.
Okay. Um, so basically what happens is you have a Chrome extension that you can download from our website. It's a little hard to find on the Chrome extension store right now because it's so new. But you essentially have a Chrome extension. As you're surfing OpenSea, you can click, if you find an NFT you like, you click on it, and then you're looking at the NFT page, a specific NFT page, and then you just click on our Chrome extension. And what you do is there's a price that is set to buy that NFT at the time, and then you can set a resale price. So what you would want to resell it for, if you're, let's say, the party that you're trying to create bought it. And then for now, because we're so early on, and in case we have a large amount of volume, we don't want our site to crash often, because we're still, like, this is like the earliest stage. We're even pre-beta at this point. And so we have a wait list, which acts as an intermediary between requests and the actual public party market. And so what you would do is you would request the NFT, let's say from OpenSea, and you would find it on our waitlist, which could be found if you go to our site, blockparties.io, and then you click browse, you can see the waitlist. And so what we do for now is anyone that requests a party, it gets put on the waitlist. And then all the users, the community, gets to interact with these parties. It's like it's a liking system, and whichever one has the most likes, let's say at a clearing event. A clearing event is either an NFT that was on the public market is just not, no one's investing in it, or an NFT on the public market was sold and it's time to move a new one up. So the one that has the most likes, or has been, like, the community, let's say, has decided we want this one, is going to be moved to the public market. And then now anyone with a MetaMask wallet can, or really a wallet in general, can invest in it. And you don't need an account for a public party. You don't need anything. You could just come to our site. I think it's just with a MetaMask wallet for now. And all you need is a MetaMask wallet, some Ethereum in your wallet, and you can invest in the party. You can invest 1 cent, you can invest $1, or you can buy 50% of the NFT. And eventually what we want to do is, when we're like confident enough in our operating systems, let's say, we want to open it up so that there's no waitlist. So anyone who wants to request an NFT or create a public party for the community to invest in can create it, and it goes straight to the public market. And then there's another option, which is a more nuanced option, which is the private parties. And so that option is, the same thing happens. You go on OpenSea, you're browsing, you find an NFT you like, and private parties are meant for, let's say, groups of friends who want to invest together, or groups of people who have been investing together or have been tracking together, or like Discord servers who have been interested in, like, following NFT drops, for example, Meebits, let's say, right? So a private party is one that is run by one person for now, and because we're still working on the whole the way we can govern it, because there's some game theory problems. And so private parties are basically, you can buy and hold them. So with a public party, you need to set a resale price when you create the party. So when you're voting on the parties that you like, that are your favorite, there's 2 things to look for. There's the NFT itself, and then there's the resale price. Like, do you agree with the resale price? With a private party, the only way you can access a private party is if you were given if the owner of the party sent you a link, and then you're added to a whitelist. And basically, what that whitelist does is it gives you permission to now invest in that party with the other private party members. And that private party, you can hold it for 50 years, 60 years, and then when it's sold, and this is the same thing with a public party, when it's sold, you don't even need there's nothing you need to do. We put the money back into your wallet. There's nothing needs to be done on your part. We take care of everything from then on.
That's not done manually, right? It's with
the contract. It's all done through contracts. What was that?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure, just to let the audience know that it's not done manually here. When you say it's done fast, it means, it's done within the contract. So it's coded within the contract, so it's executed on sale.
Yeah, exactly. So the contract is we're actually finishing up building the contract and testing it. Like we're probably a couple hours to a day away from launching completely. Right now we just have the waitlist up. If you go to our website, like, you'll just see the waitlist available right now. But and you can request parties, but we're like very close to launching. We're just in the stage of now testing all possible edge cases, because we don't want contracts holding people's money and you can't get it, right? Because we have no control over these contracts. So we can't go in and take out the money, because that's just not how smart contracts work. But yes, the contracts take care of it all. There's nothing done manually on our part, except for building the contracts initially and then allowing it to run its course when certain events happen and certain things are triggered.
Did you at least test it on the Rigby network prior to going mainnet? Or?
Yeah, we tested on the testnet, and now we're continuing to test it on the testnet right now.
Fantastic. Well, pretty cool. Yeah. And Sunday's a confession. You'll see it. It's because it's called that because I'm always honest. Love your website. Mag NFT, we mostly feature us. Our specialty, of course, is more in marketing, and just love the simplicity of the website. But hopefully, that once you go live or whatever, you'll latest law, but get a little bit more info on like the type of the different contracts, like you elaborated, being the private and public ones. You don't get all that info on the website, right?
Oh yeah, we're so on the website. What we're gonna have is we actually have a designer who this website was so to give a little background on the team that's building it. It's myself, and I'm not really a designer by any means. And then I kind of came up with the idea, and then I kind of creating the vision throughout and kind of helping it grow. And then I also helped develop it, like developing the contracts. And then there's our lead developer, who's just like an absolute monster, and he's developing most of it. And then it's like our another person who does the similar things to me, and she's gonna help like kind of grow the network and continue to grow the idea and like keep us in check and in order. And so we are not really designers, and she's like a pretty solid designer, but she designed the whole site. But we actually just hired someone who's going to start in like 4 days, who's a real designer, and she's going to redesign our entire site.
Design-wise, I think it's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. Design is it's beautiful design-wise. I was just stating that there's not a lot of information, right? So we only have a one page, and a part of if you know what fractional art is, then you're okay. But no, it looks pretty amazing. Are the names secret? Because there's one thing I always love is we gotta give props to the people that are building this community. So you had one guy that was your dev, and you had one ma'am that was your more of your like marketing and community. Like, mind naming them just so we can give props to.
Yeah, one of them is named Natalia Murillo, and the other one is Andres Gutierrez.
Oh, fantastic! Cool, good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's essential, because everybody that's building this community, deserves their, the praise that they deserve, because it's growing at the same time.
Yeah,
I love the
100%.
Yeah, I love the project. Love the gamification also project, and the math, and also really interesting that what got you into blockchain was two aspects. So your love and knowledge for math, and then your introduction to
Yeah, and so I'm gonna get into that for a second. I just want to give Natalia a little more credit. It's not just like marketing, like she does pretty much what I do. We're like me and her are like partners in that sense. So that's just for her credit. But anyways,
Good job, absolutely. So Natalia, props to you. I know she's listening or not if she's here, but yeah, absolutely. And if she is, I know she's not, but she could have been more than welcome to participate. And I'm happy to hear also, dude, that I'm happy to hear a female name. We don't have, and there's no equality. I think the blockchain is still male oriented, and I love to hear more women getting involved in this. I want to see a 50-50 parity within the community at one day.
Yeah, agreed 100%. And yeah, so it's actually kind of the whole idea of blockchain to me, like this double aspect of it with the math and the other piece of it that really draws me to it is I don't know like how well versed the community here is in like the past of like cryptocurrency, cryptography, and blockchain. I myself am not super well versed. I'm trying to become well versed in it, but there's someone, if people are interested in it, there's someone named Nick Szabo who he created Bitgold, which is like the predecessor to Bitcoin. And so he wrote this incredible paper about like artifacts of wealth. And I started reading it because like what is an NFT, right? It's like at least in my view, it's going to be something that creators use to trade and creators use to purchase things, and it's like it's going to become a creator currency. Just like I think, for example, cryptocurrencies in some sense, in some form, maybe not the current form we see them, are eventually going to become global reserve currencies. But like one thing that he said, which is like, I just continue to be sold on NFTs the further and further I get into this stuff, is he was talking about this idea, and this is a little bit of a tangent, I hope you don't mind. But he was talking about this idea about if you go further and further back in history, you see that valuables and collectibles, the function that they've played is more and more consolidated. So for example, in the Paleolithic or Neolithic age, a hammer could be used as a currency to trade for food. It could be used as a weapon. It could be used as a tool, and it maybe could be used as something symbolic. Whereas, and that's because they moved around a lot, right? It wasn't so easy for them to store things, for them to hold things because they were moving a lot. Whereas today we can store a lot of tons of information on computers. We can hold things. We have more stable buildings and structures that we can keep things in, and so because of that, they had to consolidate functionality into certain items. And so what he said was, and this kind of blew me away personally, was that where have we gone as we move to the future? What happens is there's a differentiation in technologies. So for example, if you look at the 1960s, at what a computer was and what computing was, a computer was a room full of servers, or what is the equivalent of servers, but they were just incredibly inefficient, so you needed a room full of them, and one computer. And what do we have now? Now, if we want to look something up or compute or do whatever it is, we have a phone, we have an iPad, we have a laptop, there's tablets to read, Kindles, there's tons of things that you can access the internet from now that you couldn't then. And so that's an example of differentiation of technologies. So why do I think this is so important of a concept, and especially with the NFT space? Because what has been happening with NFTs? Like, what have NFTs been doing over the past since what was it, 2017 or 2016? It's a differentiation of technology of art. Everyone thinks that art is something that is just physical. Or a large portion of people who will eventually adopt NFTs and accept NFTs are hesitant because they think that because it's digital, it can be copied or whatever it is. But the point is that the same thing can happen with a physical copy, right? Someone can, unless you're like an expert on the Mona Lisa specifically and the texture of paint that it's used and everything, Someone can print it and copy it, and it could be the exact same thing for all intents and purposes. The cool thing is with an NFT, someone can copy it, a million people can copy it, but you have it's verified that the one that is owned, the true NFT that is owned, is the true one. It is the piece. And so it's even more secure and more technically quote unquote real than maybe physical art is. And I think what's happening is we're seeing this differentiation in technologies, and we're seeing this happen as the metaverse is growing as well. And so now, whereas there was just physical museums, now there's digital museums. And that's just like that is something that like really sold me even more than I was already sold on what NFTs are and where their value is and where it's going.
I think your thought process is what most people will go through when they discover the potential of non-fungible contracts. What I'm hearing from you, I think we've heard it here several times in the same concept, same alignment of philosophy. It is empowering content creators without a doubt. I think you're right on the spot, dude. I don't think you're ahead of your time, though. I think that's exactly what I think this space is growing so rapidly now, previously to 2017 when the first CryptoPunk came around with Lava Labs. I think so, yeah, absolutely. And the other part also is what is, you know, what thing in art you have to understand that is that blockchain brings also a concept of a ledger. And a ledger is a record of documentation. And the recording of art itself, the documentation of art itself, I'm Greek, by the way, and if you go to places like Alexandria in Egypt or down in Athens, the actual records of the actual artwork itself is just as valuable as the art itself, because it recognizes the authenticity of the art itself. So you don't want to use that at the same way, meaning that they're safeguarded in vaults where the sculpture, for example, is in the main gallery, but the certificate that testified to what that sculpture is locked in a safe that is bulletproof and fireproof. So the ledger itself is just as essential as the art in any concept of marketing in the world. Once you put that art into the market, you need some type of ledger or record of that. And the other problem is that most galleries also don't realize what I think is going to be a game changer in the NFT art scene, where Mag NFT started to specialize itself, is that what happens here is that of course we'll have this revolution in the royalties of secondary market for the artist itself. That is huge, which is weird because in all the artistical economic spheres, traditional art was the last one that did not have royalties. You have royalties in music, you have royalties in photography, you have royalties in all these other aspects, but there was no royalties yet in traditional art, which was so unreal. And now at least that's a game changer there. But where's the game changer also for the collector itself? Because the collector, does he really care that he buys it in a gallery or directly from the artist? Honestly, Alan, most of them don't care. But what is the game changer here is fraud. Is that you can't, the ledger is the ledger, and the blockchain cannot be, counterfeit. It can't, it's there. So if you have an authenticity of proof from a blockchain ledger, then you're set in stone. And fraud is the number one issue in art dealing. It's the number one thing. Replicas, they're the number one issue. And then with the blockchain technology, even traditional art, where you could now, legitimately, ledger all the traditional art of the past into one specific ledger, is also a convenience that no other authenticity firm can do, because it's not based on a human opinion, it's based on the ledger.
Exactly. And I think something interesting that's like that goes exactly with that is on Twitter. Like now that I'm in this space, I need to know everything about it. So I spend a lot of time surfing Twitter, looking for people like yourself and like Rizzle. And so what I've been seeing is a lot of people were having others claim that they own certain CryptoPunks, or let's say now maybe Meebits. So what people are doing is they're putting I think it's the Etherscan, the link to that on their Twitter to verify it. And just like that, it's verified. It's like that easy, which is like, it's like amazing to me.
Yeah, and it's also a huge, well, not right now there because I don't think the market is at the junction of that. But at one point, listen, I say that, but at the same time, listen, Christie's, then I'm sure that everybody that is in that office, okay, that is now on the legal side must have looked at this and say, you know what, guys, yeah, I don't care about, the fucking digital art selling for 67 million, but I'll tell you what's interesting. Yeah, that ledger, you know what? That ledger's pretty that tells a lot of issue. And I think that the Christie's could be one of the forefront that, you know what? Yeah, now, you know what? When you'll buy art, yeah, you're not going to get a piece of paper that authorizes it. You're going to get a ledger. You're going to get a ledger that proves that, you know what? Yeah, that's yours. And, it's official. It's original. I don't think they'll. I think that the market of authentication of traditional art will no longer go through firms and human, decision. Is that is that Babe Ruth baseball card a real one or not? It won't be human. It'll be on the ledger.
Right. It's going to bring blockchain is going to bring renewed sense of objectivity back to a world that's moving increasing in an increasingly subjective trajectory. That's the big thing about blockchain in general for me. I think it's incredibly powerful, and I think that like the right now a huge example of that power is exactly in NFTs, exactly in NFTs, and
Absolutely. And fractional NFT. Listen, as the market grows, and as how can I say? Excuse me. Let me just take a glass of water here. As the market grows financially and as value rises in every quality NFT project out there, NFT art, okay, fractional ownership will be essential to give accessibility to ownership to smaller players.
exactly.
And yeah, and I'm an advocate for that. You may not like. I know you found me, but everybody has known me since 2017. Satoshi Initiatives is my baby. Like Mag NFT is our magazine, but I founded Satoshi Initiatives in 2017, and I became a very, how can I say, a very a black sheep because this was our slogan. You ready? Yeah, big. So what was it again? Was Satoshi had a vision and Bitcoin was only the tool. Okay, because when I discovered Ethereum, I said, "Wow, you know what? I think there's more potential in Ethereum in the contract interaction aspect of a blockchain and a ledger concept than there is in the retaining value of Bitcoin. Where you know what, most people right now in uh, in Nigeria, in Thailand, they're not utilizing mostly Bitcoin. They're utilizing other coins, other tokens,
Yeah.
and Ethereum. Most of them are ERC-21s, right? So yeah. So they're utilizing the Ethereum blockchain, you know. And to give you the best aspect, it's the Ethereum blockchain that is empowering the smaller players right now. Artists from everywhere. We promoted artists from Mexico, Peter Built. That never had a revenue over $100 US in his life in a month. For him, it was unfeasible. And boom, there you go, selling art at 600 US and changing his life around. That's what Satoshi had as a vision. You know, I believe, anyways, if you read the right papers and read between the lines, it's a vision that goes beyond the financial one. The financial structure was his issue, but accessibility also was his issue.
Exactly. And that's like a huge driving force for this idea. I think there's like this metaverse that is being created, and I've talked to some cool people that are creating them. That like I've been able to test them out. It's really cool. This metaverse that is being created, like we have an opportunity right now to start it off on the right foot. And the right foot being to allow the people, the community, to have access, regardless of whatever their situation is, to have access to these things that are going to be controlling or a big part of these metaverses, of these new worlds that are being created. And so that's really our like kind of long-term goal is to just give people access. And like right now, high art, right? These crazy pieces of art, one person can buy them, one person can own them, and it's like some of them are a big piece of like a country's history or of a certain type of art's history, and only one person can own them. That's ridiculous. Why not allow multiple people to own them? Why not allow hundreds of people to own a piece of it, to own a piece of the history? Why not? Like the history was created by a community. No one artist created history. It was created, most of history was created by a community. And so why not allow the community to own that history? Why not allow them to own a piece of the history? So what we're trying to do is we are trying to start it like this when this metaverse is being built now. It's been being built. This one Webaverse that I was talking to, the creators of it, they've been building it for 7 years, but now it's starting to take off. And so why not start it on the right foot? Why not?
Of course, and that's every aspect. But now you're going more philanthropic. And by the way, I got that's where my studies are in philosophy. Are you going like in community wise? That would be a concept, and it doesn't matter. Here's what I'm going to bring. I'm going to bring you the other side of my arrow. Even if I'm individualistic, okay, it gives me the ability to choose when I want to participate in the community. Also, okay. So Alan, it opens up not just on one aspect. Now, of course, you can utilize Alan the blockchain and in the community aspect. And trust me, I have. People know the story of the rice farmer I helped down in Indonesia. And today he rents land and he has his own land and grows, where he was doing 35 cents a day as a salary. And today he's able to rent land and sell. Now but meaning that there's two sides of it. And yeah, the NFT ownership, when you talk about fractional ownership, it already exists in the financial market of today. We have trust funds that have art as holding, and then whoever has money within that trust fund has ownership of that art because it acquires value, right? So there is fractional ownership today in the art world.
Right. But so to me, like the point is though, is you need to be part of that trust fund. And you need to trust the other people. You need to like know somewhat the other people that you're transacting with, which is where the blockchain technology comes in.
Stop you there. Trust less, right? So that's why
right. So my point, yeah, right. So the point is the blockchain is trustless. Mm-hmm. So to do this, right, to enter the trust fund and to buy a piece of the art, you need to kind of know the other people. You need to trust the party that's taking care of it. With this, you don't. I don't need to know anyone who's joining my party. All I'm doing is I'm putting money in. It's accessible to me. I don't even need an account. You don't even need to make an account with us to invest in a public party. All you need is a wallet. And you invest with us, you can invest a cent. You don't need to know anyone else. There could be a million other people in the party. You don't need to know a single one of them. You don't even need to trust them because of what the blockchain allows us to do.
Yeah, Alan, it's already been, I just saw the time, 35 minutes would have been in. And I got 2 more guests to join in. But yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you. Listen, there's without a doubt that fractional ownership, be in the NFT art, even in NFT gaming probably, and almost in any aspect of the NFT, of any ERC 721s or 1155s, and any other new ERC that may come up in the future, I believe that fractional ownership within an ERC contract will be the future in a lot of spheres. So thanks a lot, Alan, for joining us a lot. And I did drop some links. If you go up there, I also dropped your Discord. I saw you got 35 members. So guys, I invite you to go up in event links. You'll see it right there. You'll see Blockchain Parties. That's their Discord server. So make sure to join their Discord and be early in the game, man. This is an early project. Be part of their beta testers and their members. And I'm sure Alan will recognize you, being an early adopter of their blockchain and helping out the community itself.
Yeah, and so if you want to get your NFT to be one of the first that are of the first public NFTs that everyone can invest in, like if you're interested in owning a piece of one, if you go on our site and you download the Chrome extension and request it, and yours is the first one, you have a very good chance of getting it pushed, and there it is. So So start requesting, start liking, start interacting. We're keeping track of likes. We're keeping track of referrals. To keep track of like the what you give back to the community, and we're working on certain things that will reward you for that. So make sure you stay involved. Make sure you you help out the community. And thank you for having me here.
Hey, no problem, Alan. So make sure, guys, last call there, blockparties.io, but you can also check an event links, like I stated, and make sure to join their Discord server. Thanks a lot again, Alan. Hey, guys, I got another guest following up. Hey, I was part of this project. Yeah, I was part of this project, which was a documentary, and it was pretty weird because it was at the time when the community was still like it was growing, and we could see the wave coming, but it was still the scent early era, where everybody was still communicating on an hourly basis and responding to any comment on on a very timely matter. And where today, it's just crazy. And if you're able to reply within the same day to some of the people that you were close to, it's a miracle. Listen, it's I'm gonna invite. I unmuted you, Gemini, so you can actually. There you go. So it's
Hi.
hi, girl. It's the I Want My NFT documentary. Guys, if you haven't heard of it, but I'm sure you have, the I Want My NFT documentary was by Vandal and his mother. Essentially what it was. I will share a YouTube link. I don't know if you have it handy there, Gemini. Maybe drop it right in that text. It's a beautiful intro into what is art. And it's from the documentary of I Want My NFT. She gathered, I mean, when they gathered like so
Already
many people
started.
and all
Oh,
the big
sorry.
OGs. No problem. And so it's like you have so like people, you got to see this. Like I will share the link, like I said, to the intro of what is art. Everybody's there. Josie, Colden, everybody, all the OGs. Like some people, you're like, oh my god, like everybody. Like I don't know how they were able, but like Gemini was explaining last time. It was the early days where you could get a reply within the hour, but it's extortion. It was a big project for them, to edit, to produce, and to direct this. And so yeah, Gemini, sorry about that. Go ahead. Welcome, girl. Come and speak to me.
Sorry, I
Talk to
was
me.
I was telling Jason that we're already on and I have my microphone on.
Hey, no
Sorry about that.
Hey, no problem. Actually, I'm happy to put Jason aside. He talks too much. I'm happy to have you on now.
I like him talking better
I
than me.
know,
I always just ramble on about things and get totally off track
but
and
that
go on
that's
and
what I
on and
love.
on, and
Yeah,
you
but that's
can't
what
shut
I
me
love.
up. So
I love
he's
talking.
very concise.
Listen, just let your mind go. Just let it go. Where's it going? Where's your mind going? Just let it go. Don't control your mind. Let it flow. Feels good sometimes. So
Okay, well,
how do you feel? Because listen, I want to know this. How do you feel when you reached out to me so long ago? I would have said like early spring of last year. How do you feel today? Now you've released this, this clip of what is art, and you
well,
did the
I'm
montage of it.
really
When you viewed
pleased
that
with it.
montage, what was the feeling you
But
got?
I have this constant feeling of being overwhelmed because of what's still ahead. This is just the beginning. So, yes, I really am happy with the promo. I kind of learned how to do After Effects on the fly because I didn't know I wanted to have some fancy, text rolling around. But yeah, I think the film is the promo. I'm really happy with it. But like I said, just like there's just so much stuff to do still, which is why we had our access pass sale, just so that we could get some help. We could hire people to help us. So yeah, that's how I feel. And Jason's here, so he
Amazing
could
with
tell
you,
you how
man.
he feels, I guess.
You know
So
that. And there's just I have such an appreciation for both of you. So and but what's I it's weird because I've been in two spheres of the art world in my life. the traditional art of canvas painting, and the other one was into fashion. I was with behind L'Oreal in some way for almost 2 years, and I traveled Canada for them. And but I at times I would see the visual guys, right, where in with all their Apple products. Okay, so that's the only thing that I used to laugh because all these guys had Apple products because of the digital aspect of it. They were saying, well, if you're in digital, you got Apple, you can't go anywhere else. And the complexity of how they would do, like, their keyboards were all these like different shortcut keys and everything. When you look at their keyboard, there wasn't a traditional keyboard. It was like all these different colors and where to cut and everything. It's always amazing how elaborate and how sophisticated it is and how a lot of work it is. People don't realize, people like me, because I've been to one day get a documentary of these guys. So, what do you do behind the scene? Because with all those buttons and all those, all the work you need to put in.
Yeah,
I'm
I can
glad you
tell you
liked it.
firsthand that my mom was editing video on one of the very first video editing machines out there that was probably bigger than your dishwasher. And so she's been able to kind of go through the various iterations of the technology as things came out, and like what you were saying about the various colored keys. Well, I remember seeing that on my mom's keyboard with the Avid hotkeys, as well as later on with Final Cut Pro. And yeah, so there's definitely a lot that goes into it that I don't even know myself personally, like with the editing stuff. And so I just, leave that up to my mom to manage and just, do the things that I know how to do.
Well, I don't even have color coding on my keys anymore because I basically know where everything is by now.
No doubt about that. Yeah, and like I can imagine, it's almost an
But
automatic.
for me, it's not the actual editing. I spend a long time thinking because it's like a giant puzzle. So I have all these pieces now, and now I have to put it together. So, and that takes a while, like to make the story interesting and visually pleasing and everything else. That's always the way that I've worked. I edit little segments or scenes together, and then I just move them around and try to figure out how they're going to tell the story. And sometimes they don't even get into, the scenes that I've created don't even get into the final film. So yeah, it's the thinking and the actual how it's going to look that takes a long time for me.
I think if anybody's ever sort of, written, a fiction or a novel or anything that tells, a bigger story, and it goes into depth through various chapters, that would be a similar analogy to putting together a film, because you have various ideas or things that you've already shot, and then you have to kind of visualize how it fits together in the storyline, and that everything carries smoothly through, and you're not like jumping around from from thought to thought, or like topic to topic, and that I think that's what my mom means, that the time that it takes to soak in all of the footage that we have, and the various things, the components, and then see how that all fits together.
Listen, what I can tell you was part. So Vandal, I'd say that I don't know why. 80% of the people I meet in my life know all the goddamn movies are out there. Oh, you remember that scene? And it's like they live their life making these, like, I don't watch movies, okay? I don't know. I'm just never been into movies and don't watch them and stuff like that. So like that type of digital visual art wasn't never a big thing for me. Short documentaries, yeah, documentaries maybe, but not like really a big fervent. Then it's actually blockchain that made me like switch. Okay, I saw what how you could be talented, and producers, meaning how to bring a subject that I myself would never watch. Okay, I could never, like, I would watch movies and stuff like that, and even when movies had this type of topic, it's about women and what most women, unfortunately go through 80% of them in some sphere of their life. I don't watch that topic. For me, it's just too emotional inside. It's like I get built up. How can somebody do that to another human? And when she did it herself. It was Julieta from the wife of Trevor Jones, um, and she made it was called the Umbrage. And while I was doing research on her, I fell onto that and I clicked it right to just view another few seconds. Okay, let me check this out, and it sucked me in. And it wasn't believe me, the subject, like I told you, was so I could never watch, and it was specifically on that subject. And the way it was filmed, the way it was cut, the way it was directed, the way it was all made, like you said, she made it that she put the pieces of those puzzles so perfectly aligned. I watched it from A to Z, and to this day, I'm still in awe when I think about it. I can't believe how, like, for me, I would give her the every award that I could, because it's the best thing I had ever seen. Like, you think Star Wars is amazing? Yeah, I think so, but this was amazing. It captured me in such a way. But it shows you the power of all those hours of work that that you guys are putting in, when it comes out in a specific way, like it did for you with the when I viewed what is art, the intro you guys did. It was the same thing as, you know it's everybody answering the question. I don't want to be mean. I'm not a guy that gets the attention a lot. Usually I would have like watched 30 seconds, but the way you guys did the montage, it's like you gathered all the answers that were similar in blocks. Like, I noticed all these things, and that was so cool. It made it like it was like a build up to something. So congratulations, really, like, amazing work.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's what I was trying. I mean, especially with a promo, if you don't make it like interesting and fast, people tend not to watch something, if it's the first impression. I mean, I had a big argument with Vandal about this, because I had started off, it was just the people talking, and then I didn't like it. He's like, no, just leave it the way it is. It's good. You don't stop working on it. And I'm like, no. I got to have visuals in here. And then I ended up putting music, like because Vandal, who's a musician, doesn't have any time to make any music. I ended up making the music myself. And I stole a riff out of I Want My MTV, Dire Straits. I don't know if anybody heard it. He's pretty worried about that we're gonna get sued, but at least that would be a lot
But
of
I really
promo,
enjoyed, like I
I would
told you,
say.
I don't know if it was, and I'm sure it was on purpose, but it is that you 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 gathered all the answers of what is art. Like, example, those that said creation, right? You gathered those answers within a block, so you get all these people saying the same answer, or relatively around that same answer. And that's so interesting, because at one point what came through my mind was, oh my god, I want to write, like, the three most common answer, and wrote who said those in the columns, and just to I'd be curious, it was, well, like I said, le montage in French, it's called le montage. It was really,
Yeah,
le montage was amazing. Le montage était très bien fait.
thank you. Merci beaucoup.
I'll have to do a podcast in French once. And here's I spoke to you, I sent you a DM, but I'm gonna announce it here. So guys, Mag NFT issue 24 should be coming out. We are late. We are gonna be about 72 hours late. There was an issue in saving the last 12 pages of the actual magazine about 3 days ago. So I had to redo 12 pages. But here's the thing, I'm happy to announce it here though, and I'm happy to show it off here also, is that you guys are going to be featured. So listen, I Want My NFT is on the cover. Let me get a second, just find this right here. Let's go. So here's an exclusive for you guys. Nobody's publicly seen this. Exclusive at Sunday's Confession, since I am late to But this will be the cover of issue 24 of Mag NFT coming out. Probably, so pushing it on a Monday is not the smartest thing. So probably on next Thursday night, Thursday evening, we'll be pushing the Mag NFT issue 24, and we will have the I Want My NFT coverage. And we not just that, I put the actual white papers. Your white paper reads like a beautiful article. Who wrote the white paper?
That would be my son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, man, it reads like for
It,
real. When I was doing the design on the magazine, I went, "Oh my god, it almost looks like an article."
yeah, it's a work in progress, I think, like any white paper. This is kind of the second official, I guess, published version of it since we started the idea, and I'm pretty sure there are going to be some updates to it as well. And we're going to have, I think, as things change in the space and different opportunities come up to be able to do various things with with the NFTs and with the social tokens and the DAO and so on. So I think that look out for some changes. Maybe you'll see a V3 come around shortly before we launch the DAO.
Don't do make too quick, because like I said, I'm gonna, if ever you do have a V3, but it's a be too late. But I did publish the V2 version. I read it from A to Z. I think it's a great way. Like I was trying to find a way to how could I could highlight what was I Want My NFT documentary, and as I was reading the white papers, there was a gut feeling saying, "Oh my God, this is it." Like when I read the white papers, it was the best way for anyone to understand what was the concept, what's behind it, and how can you participate. So I decided, I said, well, no, screw it. This white paper needs traction. It needs visibility. This paper, like this white paper, has to be read. If you read this white paper, you'll totally understand what is I Want My NFT, and if you want to be a participate, if you want to participate in the project.
Yeah, I think I don't even know if some of the new things have been added in there yet or not. But obviously I've been trying to promote the sale of the Access Pass because mainly because we're trying to hire people to help us, or it's just the two of us right now. Actually, Mohini is helping me edit. She started. We raised some funds from the what do you call it? Gitcoin grant. So we're paying we're paying her to help, but we need more help. So I've been trying to promote this Access Pass to sell it, and somebody, I was at we're doing this collaboration with artists in the film that's going to be part of the film. And I said, can you guys promote it so that, we can get the help? And they said, well, you should put in what you get from it, which I guess I never really did. And then when I thought about it, like, you actually get a lot. maybe Jason can go into a little bit about like what's all included in this Access Pass, because it's not just the NFT. So why don't you go ahead?
The question is, what is the NFT? So an Access Pass is an Access Pass, right? Like, imagine it as like being a ticket. Like you get a ticket to a concert, right? And what do you have with that ticket? Well, you get to go into the concert when it's time for the concert. So that's essentially the idea behind what this Access Pass is, and that when you get it, then you have access to not only being the first 100 people, given that there are 100 Access Passes, to watch the film before it goes live to the public, but you also get the first 50, meaning our pre-sale and our launch party sale. You'll get associate producer credit on the film. There we go. Thanks, Magmaster, for putting that up. Yeah, and so what else comes along with that is that we have at the end, once we release the film and it's ready for viewing, we'll be dividing the film into 100 pieces, the visual clips from the film, and there will be NFT moments. And everybody who's holding an access pass at that point in time will be able to claim an NFT moment. Not only that, you also be airdropped our social token, which is meant to power the community that we plan on growing through this, which is called Flix. There you go. My mom just put it in there. And there are other things included, which is the ability to farm the token to earn additional flicks. So depending on which tier you got in, if you got in on the pre-sale or if you got in during the Access Pass launch, which is still happening, by the way, by tomorrow we'll be opening up for a public sale. And then you'll be on a different tier in terms of being able to farm the NFT to earn additional tokens. Also, I think I'm missing a few things there with that.
You're missing the liquidity pool.
Well, that's something that anybody who has our token can participate in. You don't necessarily need an access pass to participate in the liquidity pool, but you can earn tokens. We'll be doing various airdrops, and once we're ready to go with the DAO, you can utilize the tokens to secure various roles in the DAO, which will then give you various perks as we build out the community. Because again, the film I Want My NFT is a use case for our social token and for the DAO. So it's meant to be sort of an example of other people wanting to create, video or film or short films, music videos, video art, to be able to use the example of what we've done in order to fund their films. And not only that, they'll be able to access funding through the DAO in order to then give them some tokens so that they can use to produce their film. And hopefully we can build out a bigger ecosystem and include the various filmmakers out there who might not have found a place yet in NFT land.
Yeah, and I'll reach out later there because I've been, so as you heard there, I'm already 3 days behind there with that unsave mistake there. But I'll reach out to you guys. We'll get exposure. I think I think there's two ways that you're coming about it, Jason. I think you should continue to. Here's how I'm gonna say it. So Magmaster, I'm gonna push it in two spheres. I think you're missing one thing is that you don't realize all the names that were involved is your asset. Every person that contributed, like let it be Jody, me, everybody, those guys. That is your strength. If people knew that all those people were featured in that NFT right away, just by that fact, they would want to know what is it. Okay, and that a lot of people don't know that. They're thinking, okay, this is NFT in my country. Oh, okay, so okay, Cody's there too, but they don't. No, not just Cody, Josie, and everybody's there. Oh, everybody's there. I think that's what's lacking. That feature. That everybody's here. If you're into NFTs, you're like don't want to be mean, Vandal. But in a way, you're dumb if you don't even watch this because you're talking of all the original gangsters before the boom came. You got a vision that nobody else could see from it. I think there's the key there. The second thing is it's cheap. It's 0.15 right now. So, and even if it goes to that 2 tier at 0.2, okay? Here's what I think. I think that, then put here with the NFT, you'll get access to this right now. But not talk like example, me, DAO, I'm a turn off. If I'm driving in my car in a way somebody starts talking DAO, I turn down the volume. I'm not into it. It's too complicated. I don't want to break my brains into it. Blah blah blah. But if I hear a NFT and these are what I'm gonna get as a benefit out of them, my volume is on max. What am I getting out of it? I think those are the two fronts that I'd like. When Mag NFT is going to be pushing this for the next month, because I will, because you're part of the issue. I'll be pushing this for the next month. Not because it's part of the issue, because I believe in it. I think it's an amazing project.
I guess my mom went quiet there.
Right, I'm writing out the list right now.
Yeah, and you know what? Thanks. I appreciate it. You're actually making my life easier. I would have done that. So how am I going to be pushing it? Is actually I'm going to go back. I was going to go back to your what is art, and write all the names that I'm seeing on there because they're all there. I'll actually write them down and then push it like that. If I do a tweet, I'd say yeah. For real. I do a tweet and I tag all of those guys, all of them in one shot. I haven't seen that from you guys. On a marketing scale, I do that. And I would do, listen, this documentary features, and then start tagging everybody that's in that documentary. You'd be surprised. People will go, holy smokes, man. Look at that. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, I think my mom has been doing that on a couple of our posts. I don't know, just sometimes, be a bit shy to pester people or tag and be like expect retweets and that kind of
I'll
thing.
check it
So
out.
we've kind of been taking the modest approach at the moment.
I'll help out. For sure I'll help out. I think if I'm correct, I saw that it was below 1,000. I think you guys have on the I want my NFT. It's 600 something followers, right? If I'm correct. Let me see there.
Yeah, there's 780.
So listen, I'll help for sure. There we got. I've been fortunate enough, and blessed enough to grow a community of 8,000 followers naturally. So we'll be pushing it on our end, also for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Because Jason,
Appreciate it.
but Jason, like, I'm sure you can be rational here, right? I'm not. We're like your documentary is not just a documentary. It's actually you know what I mean, like an original, meaning that you got all the right players there. You're not missing any players. You're on the timing was absolutely there. Talent wise, Jesus, we got your mother with all the background experience and legitimate documentary filmmaking. You know, you got all the right ingredients. There's no way why this will not, if not now, will eventually get the traction it deserves.
Yeah, we again also, such is life in that we have various other responsibilities as well, and we don't have sort of 100% of our time or focus to go right into this as it would be nice. But yeah, like every little bit helps, every share helps. All the support through the purchase of the Access Pass helps us to be able to deliver this film and present a piece of NFT community history. The time that we're in now in the space, I think, is really full of innovation and change, and from going like kind of underground to now sort of mainstream in terms of where the hype has come out around NFTs with the massive art sales and so on and so forth, and the various celebrities and influencers promoting NFTs, and there's just a lot of buzz around it. So before the buzz was when we started, and I think that kind of captures a moment of time which we're probably moving out of at the moment. So I'm happy with everything that we've been doing. Although more access pass sales would be great. But I feel strongly that we're going to get to where we need to be with it, and we're going to work as hard as we can to make that happen.
Here's why I see the gold mine and why I'm being more optimistic, even though you could maybe see it as not optimal. So watch right now. If let's say you guys don't grow the necessary financement to bring this project to term, here's what I'm saying: you still have the material. And if one day in a year somebody comes around and says, "Yeah, hey, yeah, you guys still have all the material and all the, yeah, we got everything. We just nothing's big, nothing's like le montage est pas fait, nothing's cut, but we got all the films." Somebody can come around and say, "Yeah, oh, okay, good news. Yeah, you're gonna go back, and here's the money." Meaning that you have something. I truly believe, Jason, that if the ecosystem grows and stays here, yeah, somebody's gonna pick it up eventually, because you have the digital content to build. You know what I mean? I think that's the gold mine is there. Will it
Hmm.
succeed right now? I hope so. Geez, I'm praying for it. I really am, guys. I want this to really succeed. But it's been something in my back of my head is like, you know what? Yeah, no matter what, it's there now. You got the material, and so eventually this will capture somebody's attention.
Yeah, we're I think also everybody's so busy, and there's so many things happening into space, and we're all fighting for eyeballs to a degree, and
No, I agree.
maybe like a document NFT documentary is not very sexy yet for people.
Don't
I
say
think it
that.
is,
There's
but
still hope, man.
uh,
Documentary.
no, I haven't lost hope. I'm just saying, like,
I
in like
know.
yeah, catching the eyeballs and people's attention, and fighting for ETH, I guess, in a lot of ways, in terms of support, is just it's a gradual process. So i'm I'm optimistic, as always, as I am, but at the same time realistic in terms of what we're able to do, and managing expectations. I think it's good.
I like to say the only documentary that ever got attention was Titanic, but apart from that, people don't go see don't go see documentaries. I'm afraid. Hey, I
I
just also
don't.
want
I don't watch documentaries
oh,
much.
oh girls, and here's the thing when I said I don't like movies is like example, I went to see The Pianist, right? And I remember that beside The Pianist was a blockbuster there. I forgot it was one of those X-Men things there, okay? And everybody was going in that theater, and there I was all alone walking into, The Pianist, and I'm thinking, all right, I guess I'm the nerd here. Like, that's like, yeah, it's just like, but look at those names. Yeah, too fire. Let me get more fire on this. Look how many names. Look at them. Look, like I'm going through them. Everybody's there. Like Fusius, Colby, Colin, like everybody. Holy smokes, man. Josie, Lawrence. Hey, Lawrence Lee, people, man. Lawrence Lee, he's so at heart. He's got a place in my heart, that man. What a man. He's seen it all. He's seen
Yep.
it. He's seen it all. Hey, a part of Magmaster, everybody looks pretty fucking good in there.
Oh, Magmaster's the best. You have the best answers.
I'm so honored to be the first to have participated. Thank you. Like, wow. No, for real. I mean it. For me, I won't forget it. It has a place in my heart.
Most people accepted it, like our invitation for some of them we had to go after. A couple of people, like who Pac was supposed to be in it, and I kept going back and forth with them, and they didn't want to be on the screen, and they wanted to make their own interview and then send it to me, and then they never did, and I sort of gave them the deadline for the promo, and they never did, so they're not in it anymore. Too bad for them. But we also invited people, but obviously he's very busy. But like I said, most of the people accepted our invitations quite happily, which was really nice because I mean, a lot of people know Jason, but not really that many people know me. So it was an honor to, have these people accept our invitations to talk to them. It was really nice.
Everybody's opinion. Somebody give me their opinion if they're listening, and I might actually tip you if you do. Give me your opinion. Here's my opinion, and I'm not gonna be slapped around. Holy smoke, dude! I don't need to be the black sheep more than I need to be, but I might. I'm happy people's not there. I don't consider people like okay. So here's the thing. On a personal note, Beeple's this story is unreal. What a dream come true. The guy deserves everything that's happened to him. And for him, the ability to utilize the blockchain to recognize all those years of effort, for me, is absolutely what blockchain was made of. But in the NFT contribution part of a documentary, yeah, a part of people selling for $67 million. What else do you want to talk about? I don't want to be mean, but and people for me, nah. Okay, Pac maybe he was the biggest one there. He's still the one with the most followers probably at that specific time. But for me, who are the stories? Are the ones I'm seeing here? The only one I'm not seeing is let me see. Your lab that I think has maybe a part of it. Did you guys get Trevor Jones in there?
We asked him, and first he said yes, and then he said he couldn't do it, and he had to decline. We also have been trying constantly to contact Lava Labs, especially about the CryptoPunks, because that was basically one of the first pieces on the blockchain, but we couldn't even like contact them. I mean, Ben Nolan was probably the hardest because he kept disappearing. Then he like didn't show up for his interview. Then I kind of publicly shamed him, and
Oh
he
no, confessions coming in now.
and then he said, "Oh, okay." But everybody else, and even like when I had this idea of doing this collaboration with all the other artists and documenting, our discussions and our processes and getting on async, I thought, oh, those artists are all so good. I bet you they won't even accept my, me asking them to do it. And they all said yes. And I was like so honored. I'm so honored to be working with them all. I mean, my being an artist, my background, I went to art school, and all of that. It was just, I'm so excited to be working with these amazing artists. I really am.
And not just artists, I just like to also emphasize that you have named there that I'm happy to see, because I think they're not just part of the ecosystem, they're actually a critical part of the ecosystem, which is Dan and Zoop from Non-Fungible.
Yeah, they were really good interview too.
Those guys know the game inside out. Like these guys don't get the credit that the credit is due, because like a lot of projects are building amazing projects and building amazing teams at the same time. But these guys, Dan and Zoop, built a brand behind Non-Fungible, a audit credibility wise that is outstanding, and raised their hat because they brought to this ecosystem the legitimacy that it required in auditing the activity within this community, and we got to raise our hat for that.
Yeah, they're very good at measuring what's going on and showing statistics and things like that, which was a really good point of view. And a lot of the people that we interviewed, we couldn't get a hold of, but then somebody told, like, I think one of our biggest helps was Sparrow. Sparrow, if you don't know Sparrow is one of the most amazing people. Not only is she an artist, but she is a really good community founder and is constantly pushing the community. So, like she introduced us to the girls from Dada. And also, there were some people that, if we cold called them, like Art Gnome, who's that? We don't know her. We don't know them. But I think through Sparrow as well. And like the hardest ones obviously are the collectors to argue to get to agree. And Matt Kane introduced us to Token Angels, and I think Jason already knew Whale Shark and Tubitor. Is that right, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
everybody knew Whale Shark. Come on.
Yeah, I agree with Tigbo as well. In terms of people, I wasn't really pro people personally. I felt like we didn't really need to even talk about him in the film. Although, there was that sort of, he was the most significant sale at the early days, like the first major sale that came through with NFTs. So he set the trend, I guess, in that way, and that was around the time where we were interviewing most people. So it was just part of the news cycle, I guess, and we wanted to get feedback from people. But in all honesty, I don't know, Mom. Like, I don't know how much it fits into the film anymore.
Yeah.
But
I agree. It was just because everybody was talking about him all the time that I thought it would be cool to have him in there. But we're not really missing anything. I mean, there are certain artists that I would have wished would have come on that, like I really, and it's mainly because I really like their stuff more than anything else. Like I really like Lulu X, but they didn't really want to talk, and certainly didn't want to be on camera. It was a shame that Trevor Jones couldn't do it. But I think on the most part, like we got the best people, and from different points of view.
Yeah, like
like
people you like, Mom. That's what they are. They're all people, all the artists you
just
like. What
the
about
artists.
artists that I like? What about them?
We
And
got some of those.
it's not just that, Jason. Jason, I've always been forthcoming. I think Tig now's been following me long enough. He knows that it's called Sunday's Confession for a reason. Is that I always give my opinion, even though it slaps back behind me. Trevor Jones was accessible prior for him making his first $1 million sell with the bid bull. Prior to that, he was accessible. He was everywhere. After that, I'm not saying he went to his head. Here's what I'm saying: got overwhelmed for him. I don't think actually it was egocentric, even though some people saw it as it. And believe me, I'd be the first one to call it if it was, and it felt like that. But I felt this guy also must have been overwhelmed. He's one also, he does have a biography where he's the first to actually quit traditional art to go in his style to promote digital art with bars, with the Q bars. So I give him prop to that, but I understand when you told me, it's a shame he didn't come back. Yeah, because when that money started coming in, it was life changing for them, for both of them, and for him and his wife. And I know it got overwhelming for him because he would still communicate with me, not as frequently, but you could see his personality was still the same. He was just, a humble, down to earth guy. Unfortunately, the guy, I think, got overwhelmed by the situation, but
And a Canadian too.
yeah, Canadian, but that moved. Yeah, but moving
Yeah.
pretty early on. I agree with you. We ought to talk about that because meaning that I know the Colemans and them being gallery brokers in Canada, and yeah, no, he has a really interesting story also. And a story background for people. The only thing people I could maybe, how can I say, play my own devil advocate is that, as you know what, and that's what blockchain was made for, is that this guy was able to stuff it to all the other artists that were making huge money. And there he was, just making art every day, with a hope and dream, whatever, the purpose behind it, I don't care. But meaning that this guy's effort, and then he comes. The story behind people, I think the big story is the Christie collaboration with Maker's Place. That's where history was made. The history was made that Christie's jumped into the non-fungible token era this early. Christie's, god damn it, people don't know there, but God, we're talking about Christie's, god damn it. For them to jump that early, I was super
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like when I heard that, I went, no way, that's impossible. Not Christie's. Yeah, Christie's with Maker's Place, and we collaborate. Mag NFT collaborates with Maker's Place, so we had like a little
Okay.
scoop. Yeah, we had like a scoop, like about I'd say 24 hours prior, like nothing big, but a little scoop prior. And I went, no way, not Christie's, the Christie's Jesus auction house. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, this is huge. Like, you don't, like, this is the biggest thing happened. And then it was, who's the artist? Because they didn't tell me the artist. And they said, well, you'll see when it comes out tomorrow. And when I found out it was people, for real, German, I was like, who?
Do you guys know Robert Alice? He's in the film, and he was actually he did those big round, like really heavy round discs. They're physical pieces, and he sold them on Christie's. But he did 21 discs, and they're Bitcoin. They're the code for Bitcoin, and each part. So we got him. He's pretty amazing, and he's very interesting, and he's very smart. But one of the things that I found out is that he worked for Christie's and Sotheby's, like he worked for those big galleries. So he already kind of had, I'm not saying, like, I think his art is really good, but he did kind of have a way in. I mean, there are a lot of people who make good art that would never get into Christie's. So, it was interesting to hear that point of view because he did work for auction houses.
But okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's how it goes. And it's like that in all industries. If you know people, you have access to opportunities before anybody else. And whether that was just maybe him consulting, at first, and then going, oh well, why don't we get you to be the, like, I think that I would love to hear the story from him, but I think in this space, the more people the easier it is for you to kind of get out there and sell your stuff, or if you have with relationships that you have. So I think that's just a normal thing, but yeah.
Luckily, I know Jason. I know Vandal, so that was my in. And actually, like, I'm serious. Like I don't know half. Like, I don't think we would have got Whale Shark. I mean, he introduced me to Sparrow, who introduced me to other stuff. I mean, if I would have just contacted you, Magmaster, and I was like nobody you knew, would you, like, if you were really busy, would you have been able to respond to me? So yeah, I mean, Jason's been in this space longer than I have been. He's also I'm an introvert. I created an extrovert, but luckily, so he's the one that talks to people all the time and is constantly bringing people into the space and knows everybody, and even everything to do, like the access, the launch party, the making the access pass, and all the things that go with the access pass, the farming and the I wouldn't have done that. Like, I wouldn't even know how to do that. I still don't understand DAOs very well, or even the liquidity pool stuff. And it's like the farming, and he's like, farming, liquidity pool, vaults. And I'm like, ah.
But the girl, don't worry about it, girl. I've been around since 2017, and I'm not into it and in those DAOs too much either. I know I'm gonna have to let you go because Spherical is waiting on the outside. I'm 20 minutes behind
Oh, I'm
schedule.
so sorry. I'm
No,
so sorry about that.
no, Anagachari, I think that's what the podcast was made for, to get interesting conversation, especially here. And so, once again, everybody, I invite you to, I will put back the links to visit the iwantmynft.com, and make sure to visit also the Access Pass page. Here it is. I will write it up right here. So it's, get the link here. I'll share that. Don't forget, guys, right now it's only 0.15. Am I correct? Yeah, 0.15. You should get your NFT, because in the long run, this project is at only at the start. It's not even at the beginning, and all the benefits you'll get as this project grows is just unbelievable. The extra value added within the NFT itself for 0.15 ether right now. So 0.2 ether for the silver pass. There you go. So for everything you'll get, with that, without a doubt, make sure to visit, read it through, and if it gets you any interest, don't hesitate, don't regret it. A lot of people say, "Oh, I wasn't part of I missed the beginning, I missed this, I missed that." Well, don't miss this one. Don't miss this one. This is another great project, that will have value at the end, and that will bring value to the community also at the same time. Thanks a lot again, Vandal. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, and we'll put all those.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us. Thank you.
Always my pleasure.
Bye.
Don't forget also, you can read the white papers directly on the website, but we'll also be having the actual white papers being published in the Mag NFT. So those that are subscribers, like, I like to give a heads up to Mr. Tweedius. So, like, Mr. Tweedius is an annual subscriber of the Mag NFT. So once we'll be pushing it, and within a few days, he'll be receiving his hard copy with the white papers of I Want My NFT within the magazine itself. So that's pretty cool also. I hope Spherical is still around. I'm sure he is. He's usually a very let me go see, make sure that he's unmuted. Yeah, here we go. You can unmute yourself, Spherical. I'm so sorry. So we're a little bit behind. There you go. Just make sure that you can talk. Okay, can't hear you. I don't know if you got your mic on or not. So Spherical Art is here to talk to us a little bit, also me at the same time, about Mag NFT offering. So we want to do a little bit more podcasts also. I'd like to be them featured on our server, and also as the next issue will feature, I will be opening a clubhouse, a team club, whatever podcast that will be airing probably every Monday. And what we'll be doing on Clubhouse is actually introducing the power of content creators and how they can be independent in the blockchain. I find right now that on the Clubhouse, it's more of let me like take advantage of you. I still find it a little, it's hard to to trust Clubhouse on some of the things you can hear on there. So I think we need to just have a voice on Clubhouse where it's only about the artists, it's only about the tools that they can utilize, and it's featured only to how to promote themselves, how they can just not need help from anybody else, be trustless in their work, and be able to to do everything one. Uh, yeah, so can you talk, sir? I'm just waiting for you to say something. You should be able to talk. Maybe log out and log back in. Mr. Paul. So I'm mute and unmute, so I guess he's having issues. So he will see if he can maybe log out and log back in. And Paul, maybe if you want to try that. He was going to come and explain to us that he's going to be featuring a podcast documentary with traditional artists. He did write to me a little bit about it, 2 days ago. There he goes, he's writing. Let's see what he's going to say. Yeah, I guess your mic is not working. Can you go on mobile or you're on desktop or? All right, we'll wait for you. If you want to maybe try to log in or log out, log back in. See if that works. Yeah, try to relog.
Can you hear me now?
We got you. We hear you.
Hey, you know what? I forgot that I have to hit a key. I forgot that I have to hit a key to talk. So
yeah, you always have to hit the love button.
hey, I'm sorry for holding things up, but hey, congratulations to Vandal.
20 minutes late.
Congratulations to Vandal and Gemini Rising. I can't wait to see the movie. That's going to be great. And I didn't get a chance last week to say congratulations, Mag, on your upcoming cyber nuptials, your metaversal not tying party. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, there you go. Give me that smile before the interview, right? To put me on the right corner. All right.
Okay, so I've been researching NFT artists that I like, and I want to talk about them, and I want to share my screen to look at their art. I just think it'd be fun to spend an hour and talk about NFT artists, new artists that I've found, and share them with you. I have a checklist that I use to rate artists whose work I think I would like to collect, and so I look for artists that check those boxes, and I found a bunch. So I'd like to introduce them to you. Some of them you may know, and a lot of them you won't know. And when I do my podcast, I'd like to expose you to 2 or 3 of them and dive in deep. I'm doing research. I want to tell you about what their personality is like, is if I can find out what makes their work interesting. Why are they unique? Are they high quality? Do they make you feel something? Are they somebody I would like to collaborate with? Because I'm an artist. I do artwork, and I've been collaborating a lot lately. And the NFT artists that are out there that are exciting, I want everybody to know about them, and I want to know them. So I think there hasn't been a show like this. There hasn't been a podcast like this. There have been podcasts where artists are interviewed, but I'm not going to interview these people, at least not at first. And I'm not going to tell you in advance who I'm going to talk about. But I will take suggestions from the audience. There'll be audience participation, hopefully, and there'll be. Go ahead.
You know what I really like? Here's what I really like here, spherical art, from your concept is that I have a traditional artist with a lot of experience in his baggage, a lot of curative ability, that will be interviewing people that share the same passion as him. That's unique because we have a lot of people, a lot of hosts right now in the community that are not necessarily artists or the builders themselves, right? They're more the voices than the builders. You know, we're there to support the community. Where you're actually one of those builders and putting a little aside of your building to learn about the other builders around you, and that vision and that ability to bring that into a podcast, I think will bring a flavor and uniqueness that will be not found elsewhere because of that specific concept.
Oh, I hope so. I hope it works out exactly as you said there. I do have a perspective that might be different, and I'm just really excited about them. Sometimes there's a jealousy amongst artists, but not on my part. Except, crypto art has made, or NFTs have created a situation where you can collaborate. Imagine in the old days, sending an email, for example, to some artist that you like and say, "Hey, I'd like to come over to your studio and work on one of your canvases. Would that be okay?" That would never happen. Never happen. But now I can.
Oh, we lost you. What happened to the button? Go touch the kiss button. When the love button don't work there, it's usually if you touch the kiss button, that will do it. He broke the button. Well, I wait till he comes back on. Oh, I think he logged back out. Yeah. So we'll wait until he logs back in. He was talking about actually, going and asking an email and asking, hey, somebody, can I come to your gallery and take a picture? It actually kind of happened to me yesterday in a way. I was walking with my girlfriend down to the store and I saw this shop and their wall had art, which was like almost like a meme art, but just beautiful. And I walked in, I said, "Hey, can I take a picture of your wall?" He looked at me a little and said, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead." And I'll share it with you guys actually, because I have it right here. Yeah, I took it from my phone. So this was at a shop down in Montreal. Yeah, say fiance, fiance, fiance. A girl corrected me properly. Milani properly corrected me. She says, "Mag, say fiance, not GF. Come on now, get with it." Exactly. Yeah, so Tales for Call Card. So look at that, guys. Look at that Chanel and Gucci, man. I just like when I saw the Gucci one. If you click and zoom in there, you'll be able. If you go big there, that's a pretty.
You hear me, Mag?
There you go. The man is back.
Hey,
okay.
I don't know where I dropped off. My computer froze.
You dropped off,
and I realized that when I stopped talking, there was no sound, nobody listening. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I'm here. You are the part when if you would write an email to an artist and say, "Hey, let me come to your gallery," you would say, "Hell no." Did we lose you again? Did your computer freeze?
Hey, can you hear me now? This is nuts. I'm on 3 different devices trying to talk.
That's awesome. Oh. Yeah, we lost the man again. To my passwords. All right, what an interesting podcast, Spherical Art. But at least we got the most of it. Spherical Art, if ever you are able to jump in just to close it off, I'll let you come and close it off. And I'll slowly bring it also to an end. Here at the same time, let me share with you guys another picture I shared earlier. So watch this. This was during on my walk. This was done graffiti wall. Watch this. Here it comes, guys. And this is beautiful. Actually, Ethan, since you're listening, when I saw this, I thought of Clay Cal. Look at that. Ethan, look at this. When I saw that, I went, oh my God, it's Clay Cal. Oh yeah, eh? That's the first thing I told my fiance, Melanie. My fiance. That's what I told my fiance. It's that's what it looked. And I thought right away, Clay Cal. I went, holy smokes, that's beautiful. I love the Smurf one. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah, so I guess we lost spherical art. Hey guys, we're 35 minutes over time. Yeah, that was pretty cool, eh? Even the alien part, Ethan will tell you that alien is so Clay Cal, but even the Smurf one there, but I think you like that. No, it was so pretty cool art there. I'll be doing that more this summer. I've been doing it. Ethan remembers I used to share on Sent. I love taking pictures. Montreal is graffiti friendly. You know, it's so yeah, it's so clean, man. It was so well done, so clean too. Yeah, street art just rocks, man. Don't forget we have you know, just like Montreal is just unbelievable art. So anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of the Sunday's Confession with your host, the one, the only Magmaster, myself. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you had a good time. Hope you remember. So we have three things you got to remember. 2 places you got to visit. First place is, of course, Block Parties. You know, blockpartiesplural.io. Fractional art. Make sure that you go and register and be one of the first beta users of this platform. You'll get rewarded without a doubt. Make sure to join their Discord server also, and that is on the text link on the above there. If you go up, you'll see event links channel. Make sure to click that and join their Discord. Their Discord. Also, don't forget the unbelievable documentary. Guys, go get your pre-NFT pass. 0.2 Ether will give you so many exclusivities, related to the documentary. And not just that, we got DAO Records with Vandal behind this project. They have one of the biggest music community behind it. So without a doubt, being part of this project, supporting this project will only, provide you extra value in the long run. So, be part of this project. I know I'll be sure to be behind it also. Is that level 2 right now? Yeah, so point 2, exactly, BB2. Point 2, so here, I'll share the link right now, so people can go and check it out right away. Here it comes. Boom. Go check that out right there. So, and of course, Spherical Art, make sure to check his podcast. I will give more news. I'll be dropping links in the general chat channel there this week anyways. Or I'll ask Rizzle if maybe he can put in the announcement channel, whatever, one or the other. I'll make sure you guys get the news. When are the podcasts being held? Where? What time? What date? And what time zone? So yeah, make sure to be part of that. And as I stated, Mag NFT issue 24. Let me show you the cover again. An exclusive today will be coming out next Thursday. So next Thursday, Mag NFT issue 24 coming out. Here's an exclusive preview of the official cover page. Here it is, guys. So we'll be featuring, of course, I Want My NFT. We'll have something about DAO Records also. Don't forget, I am also, participating, collaborating, and supporting the Young and Sick artist project with Nifty Gateway. Of course, we got the Token Smart server, which we are part of. Everybody that's listening right now is part of. Of course, like to thank again the entire Token Smart team, everybody that's participating, helping us out in the background, and building this amazing community. Thanks a lot, guys. Happy Sunday. Don't forget, I didn't say it last week, actually. I remembered because I was in the car and I actually drove downtown. I was spraying some change. And I said, geez, I don't think I said it in the podcast. Guys, when you go downtown, local metropolitan area, if you don't want to spare change, make 1 or 2 little small, paper bag lunch there. Put a sandwich with a granola bar, an apple, or any fruit that with a little orange juice box there from the kids, make a little lunch. And when you pass by somebody in need, drop that lunch in front of him. I'll tell you, he'll appreciate it no matter what. So take care, guys. Love to you all, and peace out. This is Magmaster signing off. Sunday's a confession. Let's put some music before we officially close out everything. Reach out and touch face. Oh, Winston's out. No, there he is. Happy Sunday, everybody. Love you all.